What's up? It's your boy, The Amazing King, coming to you live and in color, bringing you that oh so amazing touch. I want to welcome you back to another episode of the Get Ready For It podcast, season 4. Hey, listen, audience, this is just me in here today, okay? It's just me. Listen, if the sound is a little off, just know that it's not my fault. Blame it on somebody else that works in production. But we got a special guest in the building today. We got my boy, one of the funniest men that I've ever met in my life. Go ahead and introduce you to the people.
What's up? My name comedian Will Speed. I don't know about the funniest man he ever met. I don't need that kind of pressure out the gate. I don't need that kind of pressure.
I met this man, I want to say probably like 3 years ago at this call center job. And anytime I came by his desk, this man was nothing but hilarious the whole time. So I thought it was important to go ahead and bring my man to the table to talk a little ish, to say a little shit.
I appreciate it.
Will, who was the first person you recall that made you laugh?
Man, I would say my grandma.
Your grandma?
Yeah, I was a grandma baby, you know. Just hearing her talk, man, you know, growing up in Mississippi, that was the thing, man. She would tell anybody anything and she didn't care. She was the matriarch of the family and she didn't care about your feelings. So her word was the law.
The law. It's always the grandma. It's always, I feel like that's the first person to tell you if you're really funny, because they're gonna keep it a buck with you.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna keep it 100 with you. Okay, grandma.
Sir.
When did you realize that you were funny? Like, when did you like, you know what? Wait a minute now. I got some talent here. I can make something happen.
Man, I realized I was funny when I talked myself out my first whooping. My mama, she would whoop anybody for any reason. And the day I talked her out of whooping me, I knew I had a gift. That was the day that hit for me. Was like, yeah, I got out of that. Like, yeah. So let me do that more often. Yes, sir.
Let's talk about your stand-up. What made you want to do stand-up? Because stand-up nowadays in this generation is not an easy thing to do. What made you want to do stand-up?
I mean, for me, I wanted to be a writer. That's my first passion, was writing. But I would write stuff for people, and they wouldn't perform it the way I wrote it. It kind of pissed me off. So let me do it myself. Man, one day, some coworkers, they took me out to like a little amateur comedy show. They was like, man, you funnier in the break room than all these cats. You should do it. And I took that chance. I did it, and I never looked back. So 13 years later, here I am.
13 years?
Yeah, I've been in the game a minute, man.
13 years? I promise you, I thought you had just started actually dealing in the craft.
That kind of hurt my feelings.
That's a compliment. That means you look youthful. 13 years?
That means my material is... How you go? Would you like to go to a doctor? And he said, man, I just started saving people. No.
Okay, no, I get what you're saying now. I get what you're saying. I'm thinking like 13 years. I mean, you're a professional. You know what you're doing.
So basically, you just calling me old naturally.
You don't look old.
Well, you kind of saved yourself.
No, black don't crack, and you light skinned, so you're on the verge. So listen.
I cracked a little bit.
Okay, next one. A lot of stand-up comedians, definitely in the 813, because we are from Tampa, Florida. Well, I'm from Tampa, Florida. He's not originally from Tampa, Florida, but he
originally
Mississippi all day. You can hear that accent. How do you handle hecklers? I know you experienced that. How do you handle that? People who think they funnier than you and think they can go back and forth with the joke. How do you handle those people?
I mean, for me personally, I don't. With my style of comedy, I'm so in your face. It makes like, let me not mess with him off gate. But I like to give small disclaimers. When I start the show.
What's your disclaimer? Let me know. Let me hear.
I like to tell people that because we live in a sensitive world.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say stuff and people get offended. But I just want to put it out in the open that if you find yourself being one of the ones that's offended, then let's agree to disagree, because if you disagree, then I'll agree that we both should agree that I really don't give a damn. I'm 6'1", I'm 232 pounds. I can't fight, but I scratch. That's my disclaimer, and I usually keep my buddy with me. He go to every show with me, and he was an army vet, you know.
Right.
He can't fight either, but you know, he got PTSD.
Right.
And I just create a loud bang and make him have a flashback and
shut this whole place the fuck down. I understand. I respect that. You know.
There it is.
Which comedian inspired you the most? I have a follow-up question after this as well.
Well, man, for me, because I grew up studying comedy, like that was the whole reason I wanted to read, you know, was to learn how to read so I could read the album covers, you know, Red Fox, Mom Mabley, stuff like that. I would say Bernie Mac was the most inspirational.
Bernie.
I grew up studying him. Red Fox, which I found out later that was one of Bernie Mac's inspirations, you know, so it all pulls from the same pool.
Is it disrespectful for me to say I didn't find Red Fox funny at all?
You have to understand Red Fox time, what he did for the game, the type of person he was. Everybody's not for everybody, so it's not disrespectful.
Okay.
You know, some people don't find me funny. I don't find me funny. But it is what it is, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you another question here. So, you know, everybody typically, when I ask that question, the first thing they're going to say is probably a celebrity. But what is somebody that locally has inspired you?
Well, for me personally, I'm not from here, so. But on a local level, there are multiple guys like Jay Legend, my guy Kyle Baker, Gordon Dixon. I see these young cats, man. They hungry, they humble. You know, they working. That's the most important part is they're actually putting in that time to work on their craft. So I applaud those guys too. You know, it's an inspiration to just keep going to see them, you know, because I've been in the game a long time. But to see these young guys, you know, fighting for something, I see myself in them. Like, damn, I remember when I was living in Ohio, getting off work at 5 a.m. and driving to New York to sleep in my car and do 5 minutes. You know, I see that in them guys. So it's a nice experience.
So talk about some of your struggles that because like I said, being a comedian in 2022 ain't an easy job. And I bet when you started doing it 13 years ago, it wasn't easy back then either. What are some of those struggles that, you know, you faced throughout that process?
I mean, for me personally, the game is changing, I feel, especially going over to the internet, social media. It really wasn't a big thing when I started, you know. Now people actually making more money off social media than the old school road dogs, the guys that are out there grinding and driving to different shows and working. You know, now the guys sitting at home in front of their phone making more money than the guys that's out on the road. So I would say the struggle is, you know, trying to cross over because I'm not really that. Like, man, I've been a comedian for 13 years and I probably got 5 videos. You know, I'm old school. I ain't used to, because I was in the streets for a little bit, and you just don't record yourself doing. These people record themselves doing everything,
every single thing,
like everything. I ain't one of them guys. So if it wasn't for social media, if it wasn't for comedy, I probably wouldn't even have social media. Honestly, I'd probably still have a flip phone, a little jitterbug.
Not the flip phone, not the flip phone.
You know, but I would say the struggles, man, is just putting yourself out there when you want to stay true to what comedy really was, building it. For me, comedy was building that vibe, that brotherhood with people, and now it's just taken away from all that with you can be doing a show on your phone in your living room on a green screen, you know. So that's what my biggest struggle is. So to
piggyback off of something you just said, because I was going to ask you a question. So when you see these new people on social media, they get all this money, and they have, you know, because when you do social media, you can just do it over and over and over again until you get it right. You know, when you stand in a crowd full of people, you don't get the opportunity. Do you feel as though they're not necessarily on the same level as people who's been grinding for, you know, who go out there and do that stand-up or that improv like yourself? Because typically they do it on social media, then they go out there and do and get booed off stage. T.I. How do you feel about people like that? Do you feel like it's unfair?
I mean, for me, I don't think it's unfair. I think everything has a circle, everything has a path. What I can say is a lot of them that I've known, it's standing on that stage is a whole different animal. And I've seen them where they think they funny and they, and they get on that stage and then they just fold. But at the same time, comedy clubs ain't what they used to be. Comedy clubs used to build up talent. Now comedy clubs, it's all about how many followers you have, or who's popular, or who's famous. I've been in the game 13 years and can't get dates at some of these clubs. But hey, T.I., he famous. He can go in and say, hey, I want to book a show this weekend.
Which is crazy because I don't even see that man. But God bless, listen.
Listen, hey, everybody got their own path.
Hey, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Now, when you look at like some of the guys that started out on the internet that transitioned to comedy, like DC Young Fly, Desi Banks, Country Wayne, them guys, like when you first saw them, it was like, oh, okay, you just on the internet, but man, now them guys are like certified beasts on stage. They put that time in and made that transition. It's all about the work that you want to put in. So it can be done. So I've seen some of them get booed off stage. So. To each his own, brother.
Let me take you back a little bit further. Do you remember the first time that you did your stand up? Can you tell me about that moment or that day or the feeling? Let's talk about that a little bit. Let's take you back to the first stand up comedy show that you did.
Man, I was in Dayton, Ohio. It was a little spot called Lights and Sirens. Man, this place was so small, man. It was about the size of this room here, like.
Audience, it's small in here, but listen, we making it happen, though.
Hey, this is a nice vibe. Hey, the spot was so small, man, and I remember I was on medical leave at work, and some of my friends, they were at work, and went and told everybody. So you can imagine a place that only fit like 40 people having like 70 people in there. I mean, the HR department, everybody was at the job, and I was like, man, I can't bomb. They'll never let me live this town at work. So I remember being in the bathroom, and right before they called my name, dude totally messed my name up. I didn't even know he was calling me up. He just totally, when you knew they don't.
Yeah.
He gave me a name. Told the people out from a place I'd never seen on the map.
Bring to the stage, Bob. My name is Gary. The hell, who the hell he's at?
So I have been working all week for this little set, I get on stage and everything in my body just left me. And I don't remember even saying it out loud. I thought I was talking in my head. I said, man, I got to shit. And everybody just started laughing. Like from my natural, like I really thought I was talking in my head.
Right.
Like, my stomach bubbling. And once I got that first laugh, man, that first laugh was all I needed. I was supposed to be on stage like 5 minutes. I ended up going. Every time I try to get on stage, they were like, keep going, keep going. I mean, I was on stage for like 45 minutes my very first time.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was a crazy night, man. Well, I was the only person that brought people, so they really couldn't say anything.
Hell, the people in there was clapping because they knew you.
If my people leave, it's going to be me, you, and the bartender.
This is a family reunion we having here. These are my people. So if I go, they go. So what we going to do here?
Yeah, man, that was my first experience, like with stand-up comedy, like actually performing, So it was a pretty good night.
Let's talk. We talk about the good. Let's talk about the bad. Let's talk about the bad. We all have them. One of the bad nights. Can you take me back to one of the days you like? You know what? I wasn't on my A game. I was slipping on my pimping.
Man, one night I was in. Man, where was I at? I don't even remember where I was at, but I was in Dayton again, little spot, and the crowd. The sound was horrible. It's like they just threw the show together in 20 minutes.
Right.
And didn't even tell the crowd it was a comedy show. They just, and the crowd was just loud. I couldn't hear myself.
Right. Uh-huh.
It was just an off night. Like nothing worked. But you had them nights.
Right.
But I came back strong at the next night.
The next night. Listen, I fumbled the other night, but I went home in that hotel, and I had to make sure that's right.
Yeah. I didn't mind it because it was a free show. They didn't pay me.
Right.
Now when you pay me, I feel the need to do a little above and beyond.
Right. When you're not, this is practice up here. I'm trying to see if this gonna be funny to y'all to make sure I take the people that's paying me.
You get what you pay for. I paid for these jokes funnier than them. These are free jokes. I got 2 different bags.
All right. Where do you see your career going? Where do you want your career to go?
Man, to be honest with you, I've traveled this world doing comedy. I've been to places I never thought I'd be. I've done TV. I've done stage plays.
Wait, stop right there. TV? What type of TV you doing?
I just did a show for the CW. It's going to be on Hulu Plus.
Hey, that's big.
I guess. I mean,
That's what she said.
Damn, that's the wrong one. Get that garbage. No, wait, that's the wrong one. No, wait, no. These are.
my God.
Hold on.
What?
Wait, okay.
Yeah.
Wait.
You are fake.
Okay, one more time.
You need to label your butt.
There it goes. I told you when I first started, I'm typically not the one that operates or.
You clicked all them buttons for that one.
Yeah, that's like congratulations.
You need to label your buttons, brother.
Listen, the janitation of the equipment manager is not here today, so he left me in charge. But we got to the right button. That's crazy that all the sounds was horrible sounds besides.
Oh my goodness.
What else? You said you do stage plays and stuff.
Man, yeah, I've done the stage plays. I've done a lot, man, just from betting on myself and doing what I do. So I'm happy with my progression. I work full time with Coco Brown from the Tyler Perry Show. That's her feature. We got a couple dates coming up, so I'm headed in the right direction. But one thing I can tell people about comedy, man, it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. So you see these guys, man, they popping today, but people are fickle, man. You popping today, you won't be hot in 2025. So it's a ride, and I try to stay fresh and try to keep my mind focused.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Staying consistent. 13 years in the game, you have to have a certain mentality that a lot of people don't have, because there's a lot of times where we do things and we just say, you know what, I'm not getting where I need to go. I'm going to go ahead and lay off on this. But 13 years in the game, you still out here pushing it. What keeps you motivated? What makes you not stop?
Shoot, working for a job, making $12 an hour.
Go ahead, preach.
Somebody got to have a hustle, and I'm too fat to be out there turning wrenches and all that. I don't want to be no barber because people don't wash their head. I don't want to be no truck driver. So, why black folks always feel like we got to be a barber or a truck driver?
Why do I need to go get my CDL? The hell?
Stop telling people to go get things. Everybody don't need to be on the road. Some of y'all can't stay off your cell phones. You're swerving. But that's one reason why, for me, I can make that money and on the weekend and I can come home. I ain't gonna lie. I was in a real bad mood about 2 weeks ago. Like, I was furious. I featured at the Improv with Coco Brown. Made more money over the weekend than I did in 2 weeks on my check. And then my boss gonna ask me if I can come in early. Hell no. Hell no. He want me to work on Easter Sunday. No. I want my check to rise like Jesus did. That's what. No. That's what keep me hungry, man. The fact that I don't want to live my life working for somebody else. I don't want to live my life on somebody else's schedule. I don't want to live my life asking for permission to go home on the holidays to see my family. I don't want to live my life working 40 hours a week for you to give me one day off a month.
Come on, Deacon.
I'm sick of all of it. I think salaried jobs is the corporate version of food stamps.
Why do you feel that way?
Just like the food stamp lady, I give her 50 for 100.
Right.
Corporate salary jobs, they want to pay you for 40 hours and you end up working 80. I'm good. Pay me by the hour.
Go ahead and run that collection plate around the room one time, because he just preached that sermon right there.
Yeah, run it.
Because I would have to agree with you. That's if that's not motivation for you to work a 9 to 5, that shit is so. It's needed to fund you, but sometimes that shit is like draining.
Everybody got to have a side hustle.
Yeah, you got to, because if you don't, you just working for the man.
And like you said, I'm gonna keep riding this thing until I can live comfortably doing what I love to do. So I've used my comedy to feed a lot of people in a lot of places. So that's also my motivation. I use my comedy to inspire. Like food drives, we've done donations, we've used the comedy shows to raise money for youth football programs and things like that. So I mean, I'm in a good place. So I'm happy with it, brother.
Okay. So say if I come up to you and I'm like, you know what? I want to be a comedian. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. What advice would you give someone like that?
Shit, don't talk about it, do it. I can't tell you, hey, go for it. I can't tell you don't do it. That's just something that's in you. You have to take that first step.
See, I agree with that. I believe self-motivation is needed in every single aspect of trying to accomplish anything.
Yeah. Now, it's a different process if you come to me and say, hey, can you help me be a comedian? Yeah, let's work on how to build material, how to do. See, comedy ain't just about telling jokes.
Okay.
Like for me, I sit in the mirror and practice hours, from facial mannerisms to where I'm gonna put my hands to how I'm gonna deliver this joke to the speed of this joke. I practice like a temptation. The timing is everything.
They ain't coming for you, Otis.
Now, you're right. Ain't nobody coming to see, because I've been putting on shows in Tampa for a year and a half, and people just act like I don't exist. but let me be at the Improv all year in my inbox. Oh, Will, can I get a ticket? I see how y'all.
Man, y'all support my boy on every single platform that you're on. I'm going to ask you about a couple other things that I did a little research and digging. Let's talk about the Back to the Funny comedy series. Talk about that. What is that? Where it start, the middle, and the end? Let me know.
Oh, man, it gets deep.
Okay, go ahead. Talk about it for me.
For me, the Back to the Funny comedy series, it came from a saying. I was at a point where I was I had brain tumors.
Ooh.
Had a couple surgeries, and I just kept telling myself over and over again, like when they were putting me under, I just kept telling myself I got to get through this so I can get back to the funny. I wasn't even thinking about, nothing of it. And I remember it just sticking. I was in New York and I did a show, and my buddy, he was like, bro, you gonna get through this, you gonna get back to the funny. And it was like everywhere I hear, it just kept coming up. Like, my partners and my family, like, yes, you're going to make it through, baby. You're going to get back to the funny. You're going to get back on stage. And it just stuck to me, man. So I remember shooting my first DVD. I called it Back to the Funny. And I said, you know what, I want to run with this thing. And I ended up turning it into a series. Like, I would invite different people, to do shows and stuff with me. And it turned into a little series. And I just kept running with it. So that's how it started. Initially.
Where can the people find that on social media or a website? Where can the people find that at?
Well, right now, everything is, we're building a website. It's going to be backtothefunny.com. We bought the domain name. We got everything working on the website now. But until
my guy got on the hat and everything.
Oh, man, look, made my own T-shirt.
Oh, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. My guy is like, he didn't come and play. He got the whole hat and everything.
I'm spending all this money on other people's clothes. Go buy me a press and make my own stuff.
For real, man.
Yeah. It's at Back to the Funny comedy series on social media, and all social media. You can find me personally at Will Speed Comedy. That's all my social media handles.
Okay, let's talk about where people can like find you at. The Tampa Improv Comedy Theater Restaurant.
We already did that one. Yeah, we did that a couple of weeks ago with Coco Brown.
How was that experience?
Man, it was love. It was nice. Like, it was packed out. Was very well received by the crowd. Did my thing.
He said he did his thing.
When the boss tell you did a good job, that's how you know you did a good job. Anybody else can tell you was funny, but when the boss tell you funny, that mean everything.
Everybody else gonna gas you up like, yeah, you was funny, yeah. Nigga wasn't funny. What the fuck you talking about?
When the boss say, hey, you funny, I got some more dates for you. That's how you know you made it.
If I come to one of your shows, my guy, what can I expect? What am I gonna get from one of your shows? What's the takeaway?
Man, for me, you're gonna get your money's worth. You're gonna get me. Because I feel like, I don't care if it's 5 people or 500, I'm going to give you my best. I'm going to give you everything I got, and if you don't find it funny, you can kill your...
You can cuss. We use big cuss words on here.
Oh, y'all use big... See, you should have told me that, folks. Can we rewind some stuff? Because
a little bit. Matter of fact, I say the cuss words for you. Motherfucker, bitch, shit, hoe ass nigga that left me here to do this goddamn equipment by myself. That's a little personal issue. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You got it back. I'm breaking it back.
I'm light skinned. I don't talk like that.
Oh, you don't?
Yeah, you dark chocolate. Hey, you got some hard ERs on your motherfucker. I heard the E and the R on your motherfucker. When I say motherfucker, it's a C, a K, and a A.
Right. It was.
I felt some anger in it.
I'm from Tampa, Florida. That's how we get down. It was a little hostility behind my goddamn voice with that.
Hey, man, but you come to one of my shows, man. I'm gonna tell you. Hopefully, you learn something because that's my comedy, man. I try to make you think, deeper than what you think. Like I don't talk about the crowd unless you want to go there. For me, it's more I got too much shit to get off my chest to just sit here and go back and forth with somebody.
Right.
Because I do comedy for the people that can't afford therapy. That's who I am.
Well, shit, that's everybody out here. That shit expensive as fuck.
Yeah.
Listen, America, make sure you guys check my boy out on every single platform. Once again, let them know where they can find you at, Mr. Speed.
Hey, you can find me at Will Speed Comedy on all the social media platforms. So
check them out.
Simple. Will Speed Comedy. That's me.
Book them. Make it happen. Yeah. I'm gonna press the right button this time. God, please.
Oh snap.
He's going to stick around. We got a couple more topics we're going to talk about here. Since we are talking about comedians and comedy and stuff like that, we're going to play a quick game. I call it Pick One. I'm going to put two comedians up against each other.
Oh boy.
And we can only pick one. Now, we may debate on this. I'm probably going to be right. You're going to be wrong. But listen, who got the most experience? Me. First two people. Cedric the Entertainer or Steve Harvey?
I like Ced, man. Ced more for the people with his comedy.
I would have to agree. A quick story. My government name that the slave plantation master gave me years ago is actually Cedric. So my whole life, anytime I tell people my name is Cedric, guess what the first thing they say?
Ced the Entertainer. Like
Cedric the Entertainer on phone calls and person. Oh, your name is like Cedric? Like Cedric? Like that's the only black person they know named Cedric. I blame you.
Technically, that is the only person.
That really is, though. In my whole life, I think that's the only celebrity that I know name is Cedric. That's not like a football player or something like that. He's the really only celebrity I know that name is Cedric, which is crazy. Literally, all my life. Like, even when I was a kid. Like, how old this man is. Okay, next one. Steve, let me say something. Steve, he's funny on Family Feud. Let me just say that.
Yeah. Steve funny on all the white folks stuff.
That's where the money is sometimes. I ain't gonna lie.
You right, because soon, listen, I'm on that boat. I'm trying to, y'all black folk, man, y'all.
Unruly.
You can't talk prices around black. I ask a black person how much something costs. They say inbox me. I'm like, why I got to inbox you for the price? You put it on public. Man.
Okay, D.L. Hughley or Kevin Hart?
For me, I've worked with both of them.
Okay.
I prefer Kevin's energy, but you got to understand, people don't know, man. DL probably used to write for Kevin. DL's like you see him on stadiums, you be like, nah, he ain't funny. But if you put DL in an intimate setting, like a comedy club, like man, he will destroy it. Like. Literally had me in tears. I'm glad that you led with that because this is not a reflection of Mr. Speed. It's a reflection of the Amazing King. I don't find that man funny at all. Bro, I've seen him on like stadiums. Like to me, he was the least funniest on the Kings of Comedy. Oh, they're definitely that, hands down. But when you see him in an intimate setting, because as a comedian, I can tell you for a fact, it's a disconnect when you're in stadiums. Because comedy is built off the energy of the crowd and everything like that. But when you're in a stadium, it feels like that person is a mile away when you're in a stadium setting. So it's a disconnect. But when you're in a comedy club, you are right there with the people. And their laughter, man, it hits you. And this dude had me in tears, bro. But I see him on TV, and I'm like, really? Yeah, this don't be hitting. So I would say, man, have you ever seen him live? I have not seen that man live. I've never even made the energy to type that man's name in YouTube. I promise you, one thing I can say about comedy, it don't matter what video you put on there. It don't matter what you see on TV. it ain't nothing like live. Like that energy of it all, like the videos can't capture that. So I would say, if you find a comedian not funny on TV or something like that, go see them live. It's a whole different ball game.
Okay.
So that's from my personal, because I'm still a fan of comedy. I still go to comedy clubs even when I'm not performing. So I would definitely say that. Check him out live, and then if he ain't funny live, then hey, go cuss him out, tell him he ain't funny, do what you got to do.
Okay. Next one. Let's say I'm gonna throw a wild one. Jamie Foxx and Eddie Griffin.
Come on, man.
What you talking about?
You want me to choose between? That's two different. Like,
Yes.
that's air and water. Like, you need both of them. Like, Eddie is one of the most intelligent comedians. But I'm gonna have to give it to my man Fox.
I'm about to give it to the Fox too.
Fox ain't no comedian, bro. Fox an entertainer.
That's
That's a difference, man. You go, man. Fox might have his shirt off one show, playing the piano the next show, singing to your girl the next show. No, you can't.
that man is unpredictable.
Exactly.
If you didn't catch that, that's a song on an album. Y'all young folks don't know that like that. Okay, next one.
I go with Fox.
Me too. Cat Williams or Chris Rock?
Oh, here we go. You know, goodness well, everybody.
I'm asking you a question.
Every black person in America gonna say Cat Williams.
I think every Spanish, Caucasian, Himalayas, Asian person is going to say Cat Williams. I have never, respect to Chris Rock, I have never found that man funny. Besides on that one movie, he was supposed to be a president or something like that. But besides that, I don't find him funny.
Head of state.
Head of state, yes.
Chris Rock was now what I do. Chris Rock was like him and Dave Chappelle. Man, they got that crossover white crowd. Boy, listen, ain't nobody gonna cross over like them two.
That is true.
And I'm gonna be real with you. The only reason why they canceling Will Smith for slapping him is because he did it at the Oscars. Now, had Will Smith slapped him at the BET Awards, it'd have been all good.
A whole goddamn motherfucking parade.
They'd have wrote a book about it.
Yeah, it would turn that shit into a Tyler Perry movie or some shit like that.
You can't slap America's boy at the Oscars.
It's gonna be Cat Williams for me. I think he just is just that man's hilarious.
Cat Williams, man, he for the people. Like, that man is fun, and he's one of the nicest, kindest people you'd ever want to meet, bro. But he is on stage, man, and it's natural. Like that guy can turn it on, turn it off, and yeah, definitely for the people.
Okay. Monique versus Simone. Samore, that's her name. Samore, yeah.
Man, that's a hard one for me.
That's an easy one.
I'm gonna have to go with some more. Everybody knows.
You done lost your damn mind.
Ooh.
Monique, Oscar winning, hit TV show, standing. She went against Netflix. Monique.
You talking about stand up comedy? You just named all her television.
She was funny in all them things.
But that ain't stand up.
Precious was a hilarious comedian.
But that ain't stand up comedy though. That is scripted out writing. You said we comedian stand up.
So when you looked at the queen of comedy, Monique wasn't the funniest one?
I like some more.
Ooh.
Longevity. Monique ain't doing really. Monique just now starting back to do comedy. She do a couple of dates here, a couple of dates there. Some more.
That's what money do to you.
Some more is working.
That's what money do to you, though.
Hey, some more got money too. I'm quite sure, and she Nia Long sister, so I can't judge it.
I mean, I believe that it's gonna be definitely Monique for me. I think
Tea and
some
coffee.
more?
Tea and coffee. Man, some more funny, bro.
Really?
See. That's it's all about preference.
I give you that.
Don't get me wrong. You gave Monique credit on the movies that she's done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm basing it solely on ability to stand up from what I've seen in stand up alone.
Okay.
Some more the truth.
Okay. What about Leslie Jones and Tiffany Haddish? You know who the fuck Leslie Jones is.
I know Leslie Jones. She a beast when it comes to the writing. Very funny. Very funny. For me, I don't find Tiffany Haddish funny.
Is that, you know what's so crazy? We asked, anytime we have a funny show or comedian, we ask this question, and people do not find Tiffany Haddish funny. I don't find her funny at all either. And that's no disrespect to her, because she out there doing her thing. It's just, her comedy is just based off of, what I want to use, it's based off of a persona of how people look at black females. And I guess after a while, it kind of runs out. Like, how many times you gonna be the loud black girl?
Yeah.
And that's why I think she based her, like, her stand up, because I've seen her stand up in her comedianness, just like how Kevin Hart always based it off of short man and this like that, but he's able to progress to a different state. She just, like, I feel like she's just stuck in that lane.
You know, I watched her when, even her, like, her, if you go back and look at the older stuff. For me, I'm a certain type of dude. Like, if you do the same thing over and over and over, I don't care who you are. It gets irritating to me. And I feel like Tiffany Haddish is, like, her energy is always high.
Very high.
And sometimes you just need to settle down sometimes. Just let your material flow. But sometimes I feel like it's forced, you know, to you're going to laugh, you're going to laugh.
Right.
Like you said, that loudness, like, that's not my style.
And I feel like she's one of the, you can actually see that she is becoming more mainstream, or she's trying to make that transition. I don't know if it's as seamless as Kevin Hart or probably the more male comedians, because the male comedians, I feel like they're more easier, but it's like,
well, she got his backing, so
sure.
he got it. Them LA comedians, man, that's one thing about LA, man. Them comedians, they look out for each other. They together. Like when one of them make it, they group gonna make it. So.
Okay.
And she was running with him, and he's really, like, you see, he went off on the interview about her. So, yeah, they got that relationship. And when you got somebody like Kevin Hart on your team, where can you go but up? You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go to another couple questions before we wrap it up. Who is the funniest female comedian
that I know? Man, y'all gonna have to look her up. I ain't even no hesitation, man.
Okay, go ahead.
My girl, funny as in, like, personally, it's two. Okay. I think Coco Brown is hilarious.
Okay.
Like, I've done so many shows with her. We done traveled. Every show is freaking different. I think she's hilarious. Now, as far as, like, non-celebrity, I got to give it to my girl, Miss Jen Thomas.
Okay.
You know, you can look her up. On her name is Gin Thomas. She from Jacksonville, and she living in Atlanta right now. But man, this woman roasted me so bad one night at a comedy club about a jacket I had on. I went home and threw it away. But man, blessings to her, man. Like, just staying humble and the positive attitude. She's touring now on the new Cat Williams tour.
Oh, okay.
She came through Tampa and destroyed it. But she is, man, hilarious. And I love a female comedian that got more material than just sex and my vagina and then dicks. Like, I can't stand when a female, that's they whole set. This woman here is the truth.
Okay.
So,
yeah, make sure y'all check her out.
Yeah, Jen Thomas.
Do you find, how to say this and be politically correct, more of the Himalayas, more of the vanilla, more of the paper, more of the Caucasian comedians funny? Do you find those type of comedians funny? Because I'm going to tell you the truth. No. Besides two, like Gary Owens and this other one, but they give off more of
black people vibes.
Black people vibes. But how do you feel? Larry Cable Guy is not funny, but keep going.
For me, well, Larry Cable Guy's an act. He don't even talk like that in real life. For me, yeah, I feel like, yeah, I there are multiple. You ever heard of a comedian called Jeff Dunham?
Hell no.
Man, Jeff Dunham is hilarious. He's a ventriloquist. Watch some of his stuff. Google him when you leave out of here. Right. Jeff Dunham is funny. There are, honestly, a lot of the white comedians down here in Tampa are pretty funny. Like,
if they wasn't on Martin Lawrence's First Amendment, I ain't find them funny.
But see, that's old. See, what have you done for me lately? I be fussing at comedians about that, man.
What?
I was on Comic View, bro. That was 25 years ago. What have you done lately? I was on Def Jam. That was, man, come on. Stop using. At what point is a credit not a credit anymore? Like, at what point can I say, hey, I was on this show? It was 25 years ago.
Until you find another one. That's what they
guess.
do. I was backing in until they get that new one that's hot. They're going to always use that old credit.
All right, that's probably why these dudes still 40 talking about somehow they played football in high school. I used to.
I used to be a bad mama jamma back in
was
the
in
day.
99.
It's just 2022. They use helmets and cleats now. One more question before we go. This is a fun one. What's the funniest movie you've seen, and what's one of the least funniest movies that you've seen that is overhyped?
Man, that's.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, cause I don't watch a lot of TV. I do a lot of reading. I don't.
Friday is not one of the funniest movies you've ever heard in your life.
I mean, Friday was all right, but I grew up.
All right. Okay. Mm-hmm. Shut up. Let me shut my mouth.
I mean, you forgot, like,
You finna say Harlem Nights or some shit like
you
that.
damn right. You damn right. Like, Friday was funny, but man, you want me to put that against Life? You want me to put that against Harlem Nights?
I'm be honest with
Della
you.
Reese.
Harlem
Hit
Nights.
people with
Life,
garbage cans.
Life, I give you Life. I definitely give you Life. Life is like one of the top notch fun. There's so many quotable things I done use. White only pie. There's so many things I done used throughout my whole life.
Jaggle 2 times.
Life is I'm from New York City. Life is just quotable throughout from beginning to end. It's one of the funniest movies ever. That's probably my top one right there. I'm gonna give it to Life. You done brought me Life.
He said, I can't go home to my family
Like
this. Out of Pappy. Come on, man. Bernie Mac had 4 of them on his own. Out of Pappy. You need anything.
Or you can't have my cornbread. Part 3 of my killing spree. It's off. Hey, man, that's a hilarious movie. Yeah.
So I like that. Now, my least funniest was what's that movie? Death at a Funeral.
Oh yeah, with Chris Rock and
To me, the star power. I don't know if it was. I was just disappointed because there was so many stars in that movie. I thought it was gonna be.
I think that was a mistake. You try to what's the what I'm using? I'm trying to think
Los
of.
Angeles Lakers. You done brought all these people
Right.
over here, these names over here. You got all these names on the roster, and then you ain't even make the play.
Duluth, yes, Duluth. Yeah. So that's one. Damn, that's a lot. But yeah, I would have to give Life. It has to be like one of my top movies out there. This is crazy. I'm gonna go home and watch that right now. Man, this has been once again an amazing episode. Hey, it's your boy, The Amazing King, coming to you live and in color, bringing you that oh so amazing touch. Make sure you follow the podcast page at AmazingIam_, and also follow me at AmazingIam_ as well. My boy, where can they find you at once again on all social media platforms?
All social media platforms at Will Speed Comedy on all social media platforms.
Make sure you check my boy out. Get ready for it.